All right, welcome to Uncle Legend's Corner. I'll be your host, Uncle Legend, and with me as always my beautiful co-host, called Girl Six, better known as Fox.
Hey y'all, what's up?
How y'all doing today?
Yes. Tis Sunday.
It is Sunday.
I wonder how many people still go to church.
I mean, I think a lot of people do. You mean like people in our age bracket? Like,
No, just people in general. Since like COVID and everything, a lot of churches have their little services online now. With
do that not count as
people.
going to church?
I don't even know. Like I'm talking.
If you
about
at
as far
home
as
catching the
being
Holy Ghost,
there.
that's wild. Like, who gonna save you?
Why they need saving from the
Like,
Holy
if you out
Ghost?
there doom, just knocking over all your furniture,
Ain't no fan
knocking over
going
all your
on.
lamps, ain't nobody there with the blanket.
No, ain't nobody gonna fan you.
Nah,
Ain't
they
none
might
of
get
that
you
going
out of
on.
here.
Mm-mm.
So, it's a lot of stuff going on in the news, and I don't feel like talking about none of it.
I feel you. But there's one thing though thought was funny. Okay,
Okay.
and it was this lady suing her pastor because she felt like he squandered her life savings. He made her squander her life savings.
How he put a gun in her head?
I know.
Is this raping you records? Like, what we doing?
I know that was my thing. And so I was like, how could this man make you give a bunch of tithes and offers? You chose to do this. And maybe you realized you wasn't getting anything back in return. I don't know how you feel like that was his responsibility. You gave with a good heart. You gave with a good heart. And now you can't ask for that back just because you didn't get a return on your investments,
Here go Art with the
So-
shenanigans. He talking about, oh, y'all matching today.
Are we?
Is we
This
though?
khaki and this yeller. This mustard yeller.
Must.
What's up, Art? How you doing?
Yeah.
I just thought that it was so funny to me.
I don't know, man. People been getting bamboozled and robbed in church all the time. It's kind of like, I don't know, man. Like, I know God want to see you give, but I don't know what God wants to see you be broke.
Yeah,
Like, but broke because you gave to the church. Like, unless you
I don't
Job.
either.
Like, if you Job, then
Cheers.
cheers.
So my thing is like, when you talking about tithing and stuff, it was meant for the priesthood. We don't have a priesthood anymore. It was for the priest to live off that land. You give them 10% of this, 10% of that, whatever it was that you have, livestock. It was never money to begin with. So
Yo,
for people to carry that over now, and then they expect for the pastor to feel bad, like, no, you giving this to him. Like, your tithe and offering can be, since we don't have a priesthood, if you feel inclined to give, then you give to the homeless, give to the people in your neighborhood, give to those less fortunate than you. It doesn't have to be the pastor of your church or your local church or whatever. So
yeah. So it reminded me. So they was complaining about this pastor. They said he was stunting on people and everything, and then they going back and forth with the scriptures and everything like that. And this one pastor, he had a Lamborghini. So he pulled up and they're like, oh, he's showing off his Lambo. It's like, is he, or is he just having a Lambo? Because I done heard of both sides where it's like, you know what I mean? Like, you look in the Bible, you can find a whole bunch of verses about, like, you ain't supposed to be flashy, braggadocious, all that type of stuff. But then it also say, like if you rocking with God, if you rocking with God and He taking care of you, I mean, you should have something to show for it.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard, especially when you living in this day and age. It's like, don't nobody want to be meek. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like if somebody want to come to church.
Meek kind of society.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, if you going to win people over.
Meals, that's it.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And Meek Mills is flashy.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You know what I mean? So I think that people kind of feel like, what you supposed, like, is the pastor supposed to be a bum? Like, I understand, like, people just worried about, they taking my money. People just want another reason not to go to church. If you don't want to go to church, don't go to church.
No,
The shit ain't for you.
Yeah.
Like, don't be sitting here saying, well, the pastor got this type of money, he got this, that, and the third, da-da-da.
The pastor's been having that kind of money.
The pastor's been
But
getting
y'all
money.
Give it to him. You know
Been
what
getting
I'm
money.
saying?
When
Y'all
you go
paying
back
the
to
bills?
Rome, and you go to the Vatican. Vatican was never hurting for no money.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
No.
And so my thing is, they was talking about him being fly and flashy, but I think in today's society, it's like if you want to bring somebody to God, you ain't gonna bring somebody to God with the new Kanye West holy clothing set. Like you gotta look like God doing something for you.
I think church is different overall. When we were going to church with our grandmothers, it was different. Like the whole atmosphere of church was different.
Well, I'm gonna tell you this.
It was more stiff, strict, and I mean everybody. You know, you have those in the Baptist church. I would say, you know, catching the Holy Ghost, running all around the church and all that.
Burning all them calories.
Yeah, now the music is even different now, of course, you know, because you want to reach the younger generation. So you go into mixing urban hip hop with, you know, gospel music or old time gospel music. So even that, the way we dress is different now in church, because I sometimes honestly can't tell the difference if we going out to chill.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
Or we like going to the club, we going,
So, you know, once I veered off on my own to go do some things, I'd have been to some churches and say something. And I said, you know what I mean? You be sitting there in church, you're like, good Lord.
Mm-hmm.
Shit, when a man find, you know, we got to start saying some scriptures that don't make it seem simple. Like, when a man find it for wife, he find it for good thing, boy. He be in there talking real greasy. She done came by and she came in the move something dress.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, damn, you wore that? Did you just bring that from the club? That shit still got glitter on it.
Yeah.
Like, what you doing, girl?
Yeah.
Like, smell of wine and cheap
understand
perfume.
that. Some people would say, you know, well, it doesn't matter. Come as you are. Okay, cool. Come as you are. Right. Got it.
I mean, come
But
as
if
you are.
You have something else more without showing all the assets
man.
or whatever. And men too. You sagging
Like,
your pants and stuff like
Oh,
that.
it'd be crazy if I came in there with the hoochie daddy shorts. You know what I'm saying? Coming out there, moose knuckle prominent. Boom, boom, boom. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm out here like, yeah, praise the Lord, sitting there. Yeah, hey, sister, hey, how you doing? This and that, da, 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 da. Dick print down my leg or something like that. Now you're like, is that,
Great
you know what I mean?
sweatpants.
Like, do I want you, coming in with the gray sweatpants, no drawers? Like, come as it's laundry day, Lord. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like people.
Laundry after service.
Yeah, like, I think that come as you are meant, like, if you ain't got, like, to me, when they said that come as you are when they was younger, it was like, that was don't come in. Like, if you ain't got a flashy ass suit, don't worry about it. Come in jeans and a t-shirt.
Yeah, do what you
But when you
want.
come in there with the
But
halter
it's
top, belly
disrespectful
out,
to
a whole
me.
bunch of skin
So
and shit.
if this is a place where you are worshiping a God, okay, the most high of whatever religion you believe in, that's what you're gonna come to him as? Like,
Hey.
that's what you like. You don't.
She said, she said, I want the Lord to want me too. I want the
What
Lord to
about the
want me.
men coming with their pants sagging half down their thighs?
Hey, Lord, something for
like,
sale.
what's up? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I will
There's
never.
no-
I'm gonna tell you right now. At no point in my life will I ever understand sagging pants. Like, if you in the hood and you doing some shit. Oh, hey kid, what's up, sis?
Hey, sis.
Big sis in the chat. And then you see Art come from my neck.
What are
He
you
said you look like a new bottle of mustard. He be like some old mustard that's been in the fridge for 3 years. All right, Hellcat.
You know how that? So first of all, it's Dijon there, right?
Yeah,
Dijon.
Dijon.
You know that's a little.
I'm
it's
classy,
like this color, it's
uppity.
pale.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying?
Grey Poupon over
I'm
here,
new-
player.
New mustard, M-O-E-B,
You know what I'm saying? Shit, that new mustard. You get your little Heinz over here, or you come get this Grey Poupon. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you got to say. But I never understand the sagging the pants because it's like this. If you out in the hood, you doing some wild shit because it's a hood trend.
Mm-hmm.
If you out in the hood, you doing some wild shit. Ain't nobody ever gonna tell me you run faster with your pants up below your hips.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Like you trying to run from the police, pulling up your hips, doing this and that. HP Black, what's up, bro? Got you in the chat. So I don't get it. It's like you trying to take off and run from the police, pulling your pants up, fighting with your pants, and you wore a belt just to show your ass. Like I ain't never met a woman who was like, "Ooh," like if a woman, I ain't never had a woman say, "I'm not talking to you because you wear your pants on your waist." It's been a lot of reasons a woman said nah, but it wasn't never like, "Oh, you wear your pants on your waist." Like who they doing it for?
That's so unattractive to me.
just-
But you know, it's a lot
genuinely
of
don't
women,
get it.
A lot of younger women too like that, or they accept that for her. I don't have no
I
idea.
think accepting it and liking it is two different things. We accept them long ass eyelashes. We don't like them. But when you come in there with them 50 millimeter lashes, like woo woo, it's like it's just what it is,
it's
player.
hot, so it's cool. Then
You know what I mean? You over here,
blow a fan.
here you blinking and shit. But it's like, yeah, you get. It's like it's accepted, but it's not like ain't nobody asking for that. Like, who's asking for men to have their ass out? Like,
I'm definitely not. I don't want to see your booty. I don't want to see what kind of drawers you got on, because chances are they ain't clean.
Yeah.
I don't want to know. I don't want to see, because if I see it one day and I see it the next day, I know something ain't right. You come around me with different jeans, same drawers, we got a problem.
yeah, boy. I remember they had a
We have a problem.
they had a picture of this dude on People at Walmart. He had his pants sagging, had like a wife beat on, pants sagging. You could see between his thighs, his pants so low. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Why you even got them on, bro, at that point?
Oh, you got him on,
Like,
man.
what do you have
It's like y'all look like y'all just came out the toilet and somebody caught you off guard. Like, hey, oh.
Right.
But the crazy thing is, you do all of that, and then old boy had some drawers that said like whatever day of the week it was, but it wasn't that day of the week. Like,
We know you ain't changed.
we're real skeptical there, brother.
Sunday and it's Thursday, baby. Something going on.
What's going on? I just
Something
mixed my
right.
drawers up. Like, why would you even get drawers with days of the week on them unless you're gonna stick to that?
You gonna stick to the days of the day.
You gotta
of the
stick
week
to that,
you
bro. You can't talk about something. Well, it's Sunday, but I'm gonna rock Thursday draws.
For real.
How about you don't?
Don't do that.
It's real wild out here because
Don't
I'm
do
gonna
that.
judge you. I'm automatically making assumptions.
That's right.
So I don't get it. And then even the history of sagging, right? Like the history of sagging come from slavery with buck breaking, and then in the jail when men was offering themselves up like, "What's up? You want these cheeks?" You know what I'm saying? And then we out here like, yeah, this make me look tough. What is tough? Like, you can't fight as well with your pants around your ankles. You can't run as fast. It's nothing that you can functionally
There's
do
no
better
advantage.
unless we have in the race like who could take his shit first.
You
Like,
got me.
yeah, he had me beat. He already had his pants around his ankles, man. He had me beat. Got my ass up out of here. What could I do with him?
Ma'am. All right, forget about that now.
Get to the shenanigans.
So one thing I heard about today, which is crazy, right? And we're talking about, with Roe versus Wade and all abortion laws and everything like that being in place now. Georgia has stated that the embryo after 6 weeks can be claimed on income tax. Okay? You can claim your embryo after 6 weeks on your income tax. So, yeah, they're going to check it as human status. So it has human status now. So since it's a human, of
Hey,
course,
peace, Dan.
at that time, it's a dependent. It's a dependent, and you can claim them. So
I feel
that's
like
something for y'all to know if y'all in Georgia.
so. I feel as though it's fair because if you're gonna sit there and tell them that you're gonna tell a woman like, hey, this kid is your kid. Whenever you saying it's a kid and she can't, and it's a life.
Yeah.
Well, once she's taking care of another life, we acknowledge that she's taking care of another life. It's just like the woman we need to check back up on her, the one who went through the HOV lane with the baby.
Oh yeah, HOV lane while she pregnant.
And I think that was in Texas or whatever. But I think we done open Pandora's box with this, right? Like so, so now that we done open Pandora's box with this, it's kind of like, all right, how far does it go? Like I think like if you saying that like abortion shouldn't be legal and stuff like that, you don't got much of a leg to stand on.
Yeah.
But on the flip side of this, now what happened when you come to the buffet and you pregnant and I charge you for a child and an adult?
Yeah, that's something that they can do. It's,
You know what I'm saying? Like
you can, these laws can go any way, good or bad.
like you open.
Any
I
way,
feel
good
like
or
you
bad.
opened up Pandora's box now,
Yeah.
where it's like anything where people can make money because it's up to like, oh, if I can't make money off tickets as a person who make money, I'm thinking like, oh, we charging people. All right, well, you pregnant? You come in the Golden Corral?
Yeah.
That's an adult and a child. You know what I'm saying? That's an
Right.
adult and a child. That's with insurance and stuff like that, all that other stuff. Boom. Well, now I got to put up now like your car insurance and stuff like that go up because you always in there with them because now it's the same as if you had a kid in there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like we got to take that into consideration.
And not only that, what's going to be changing more than likely too is child support laws, all of that stuff. All that stuff is going to be
That's
changing
wild.
now because you're talking about you can now legally claim your child, your unborn child, as a dependent. So that means that that's going to be counted as well when you're talking about child support cases. So
Yes.
start early, guys.
So,
Don't start
I
early.
get that, but what I'm saying is, okay, so you pregnant, So who gonna pay the child support? Whoever you say supposed to pay the child support.
Hey, they gonna have to work.
At what point can you? At what point can you get some DNA or something from the
and
baby?
Look
The
at
baby.
this too. So, what are the requirements in reference to even claiming this child as a dependent? Like, what's the proof? Because I'm pregnant.
I mean, you probably got to show.
You
probably got to show something for
So
a doctor.
how will they even begin to go through all of that to determine that? And then you can say, okay, well, what if I lost my baby? Lord forbid something like that happens. Lose the baby, then what? How are you going to regulate that? And then how are you going to differentiate for those people who actually was pregnant versus them who's saying, okay, well, I was pregnant, and you can doctor all kinds of documents, so it's just too
I think it's
much
gonna come down to a point where maybe they're gonna have like they'll probably get to a point like they'll figure it out after a while. They get like doctors on the registry and
scammers be scamming.
Yeah, scammers be scamming. They figure it out. But I mean, they probably had doctors on the registry just the way they was with like the COVID vaccine when people was getting the fake COVID vaccines and doing everything else. All right, boom, we got this database now. So when you get that shot, they got to put it in this database, and we come for people's head. You know what I'm saying? If it don't pan out right, so when you do all of that, you got to think that they'll find a way. I mean, and it's always going to be a battle back and forth. Listen, hold on. Hey, shut up. I'm podcast over here, if you don't mind, sir.
Our dog is going at it.
Our co-host over there, he wilding. But yeah, so they're gonna figure it out. But I think it's just gonna be both ways, where it's like it's kind of one of them things where you feel like it's a win to begin with, but people gonna find a way to screw you over to get some more money.
Oh yeah, they are. That's inevitable. So I just wonder how deep this is gonna go and how they're gonna end up regulating.
I think like I said, it's Pandora's box, and people gonna find ways. It's like
loopholes
when you look
everywhere.
at stuff, you're gonna be like, I didn't even think of that. And it's going to be just like anything else. When you look at something, you're like, damn, I wouldn't even thought of that. Damn, I wouldn't even thought of that. They're going to keep doing that, right?
Yeah.
Like at those levels, you're going to keep saying people say,
absolutely.
oh, well, I never even thought of that. I never even thought of that. And it's going to be, it's just going to be crazy, right? So
that's crazy to me. I don't understand how they can let this explode the way it's about to. They haven't seen anything yet. That's the crazy thing about it. This is just the beginning. Just the beginning of all this.
Yeah, so they'll find. I mean, like I said, they're gonna find a way. They're gonna find a way to keep pushing, and it's kind of like, and it's gonna be both sides pushing, right? Like, so for the sake of argument, we'll call it left and right. Right say, y'all can't get no abortions, this and that. We're gonna screw you and get money, and then the left like, well, it is. Y'all said it was a baby, so now we gonna get money, and it's just gonna be a battle of the minds, right? Like it's just gonna continue to be a battle of the minds. Where people are just saying like, oh, here's another way to get money, man. Here's another way to do this and that. And I think we just missed the whole intention of it. Like a lot of these laws that they got out now, when they say like, if people violate gun rights or if people violate this, that, and the third, like in California or something like that, communist ass California, they're talking about. So say if you was to violate gun rights or anything with the gun rights, somebody like if you did that, like so say now you run around with a 30-round mag for a detachable gun, I can sue you. Well, I can take you to like criminal court. Or civil court or whatever because you broke the law and sue you and get money from you or whatever. As just a person. Like I'm not even I'm not even nowhere in the judicial system. I'm just a nosy neighbor peeking out the blinds like I'm on your ass. You know what I mean? So I think we just wind up keep going. I think we just wind up keep going and to our own detriment, right?
I wonder how they're gonna end up regulating all this. This is something that they.
You find a way. Like, you're going to find a way to regulate things, right?
That's the best they can.
You're always going to find a way to regulate things, and they're going to try their best, right? But, I mean, possibly they'll do a better job than, like, Netflix trying to regulate passwords.
True. And we were just talking about Facebook and what they done.
Oh, yeah. Facebook. So, Facebook, to me, is disgusting because it's a privacy thing. But, so, basically, what happened is there was a mother and a teen, assuming it was her daughter. They went to go have an abortion. The state that they was in, well, the 17-year-old who was 18 afterwards, who was now 18, they went to she took her to go get an abortion. But a lot of states that regulate, that have laws against abortion, they like, you can go out there and do whatever you want. When you come back here, we still going to charge your ass with it, right?
That's crazy.
Yeah. Good, bad, and indifferent, right? So they'll say, like, you can't do this and that for, you can't do this and that. You have a child. I mean, they don't want you to have an abortion or something. So basically, they're both going facing charges because they went to go get an abortion. Now, the thing that's crazy about it is some of the documents that they use to arrest them is DMs through Facebook. wild question to me is like,
Yeah.
if you're gonna do some dirt, is Facebook really the place? Like, if you're
Yeah,
doing
Facebook
something that
doing that, yeah.
that's janky, maybe they didn't think it was illegal to go in another state. Who knows what they was thinking? But my thing is, this is like
You can't claim
Facebook's
ignorance,
response.
though, you know?
Well, Facebook's response apparently allegedly was Facebook said the police said that the police made the statement misleading and it wasn't for that. They didn't say it was for that. But regardless of what it was for,
Why
it's a
are
privacy
you,
thing.
Yeah, how do
Like,
you
that's
even
one-
know to use my
Yeah.
DMs for anything? Why are you in my DMs?
well, so I mean, they obviously got our DMs. Like, you put it on the internet, and I think we as people have to understand. You put it on the internet, you put it anywhere. Anything that you ain't saying is just word of mouth, here to here. It's like it can get held against you. I mean, even word of mouth can get held against you. But I think the disgusting part about it is that Facebook just they're giving out our DMs, and it's a privacy thing. And I haven't really read Facebook's
the privacy,
whatever their privacy act,
law.
disclosure statements, and all this other stuff. But one
They
thing I'll
change
tell you
them
this.
frequently too.
Yeah, they change and don't nobody, and what you gonna do? It's kind of like one of the things when you hit the button and accept whatever for your phone if you want something. It's like, well, you want to download Instagram.
Or just
Well-
not use their platform. That's the only other option, really. Either you
Yeah.
accept this or don't use the platform.
Yeah,
you know?
but it's kind of like people hate the idea of being left out.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, if I don't use their platform, then I can't connect with these friends and these people, and I basically can't be nosy to find out what people bitching about and everything else. So now I feel kind of bad, right? So my problem with it is that it's a privacy issue, and I feel like people should be entitled to their privacy. And it's been said before through history that anybody who gives up their freedom for security, they deserve neither, right? And that's a perfect example. Like when we did Patriot Act and a whole slew of other things, we've given up like privacy, security, and everything else like that. So when we do that, you got to understand it's like we're giving up a lot. But on the flip side of it, where's the line at?
Right.
Now, for instance, if somebody murdered me, and you knew that the information was in DMs, you want Facebook to come
Yeah,
up
you're
off that.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So it's kind of like, where do we draw the line at, right? Like, so do we draw the line? Because now people can consider that a murder, right? Like, it's people
Right.
who believe that is a murder. So if you're considering that a murder, it's like and we're just saying, I'm not trying to, if anybody about to say it's a false equivalency, it's for the sake of argument, so get over yourself. But it's the equivalent. If I got murdered and you knew that the information to find my killer was in DMs, you'd be telling Zuck to come up off that.
Yeah, give me that. Yeah.
Yeah, get up off that. So it's like,
this
where
is
would
what
we draw the
suits us
line?
too. Yeah, it's hard. Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
and it's like Bunny said, she'll say that nobody cares about shit until it affects them.
Till it happens to them.
Yeah, not even until it happens to them, till it affects them. Because a lot of times you'll run into the people who everybody's worried about aren't even offended. Like, for instance, a kid did a social experiment. He put a poncho on and a sombrero, and he was walking around. And every race of people was telling him, you can't do that. That's racist. That's offensive. That's this and that. And then he saw some Mexican cats, which is their culture. He saw some Mexican dudes, and they was like, oh, that shit fly. Where you get that from? But they wasn't even tripping.
Right.
Like, a lot of people ain't bothered by, I think that, like, the biggest thing about cultural appropriation that, like, with that standpoint that make people upset is that it's when you don't respect the culture, or people feel disrespected by the culture, or when you monetizing off the culture when the stigma hurts other people.
Yeah.
For instance, like a white woman with cornrows or dreads or something like that, you don't care until it's like they say, yo, nappy ass hair, and then they look at her with dreads and be like, oh, she has these cool, call it some dumb shit that they
Yeah.
just branded
Yeah.
as. She has
Yeah.
these cool freedom locks or some dumb shit, right? Like, and then you up here like, y'all just
Boxer
trash me about
braids,
it.
is
Boxer,
what we
like
call
with the
it,
boxer
boxer
braids with
braids, right.
cornrows and shit like that, right? Like
Cornrows. What are you
boxer
talking
braids.
about,
It's like those
boxer braids? Get
cornrows.
outta
Like
here.
we've been calling them cornrows.
Right.
But so it's really about nobody cares until it affects you. Because like a lot of the stuff that we have with the social media stuff and this outrage and everything else, we'll talk about a lot of things where they come down to like we don't like we don't like we think everybody thinks slavery is wrong until we pick up one of these and be like, guess who probably made this shit? Child slaves.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like we wanna bitch and fuss about stuff like Brittany Griner being over there in prison in Russia, and it's like, but how many other people over there? You got to do this over there serving way more time. And he just a white man, so it's like whatever, right? So it's like it affects us because it's in our community for some reason or something like that. And we only care really about what affects us, and it's just like it's the hypocrisy. And I'm perfectly fine with hypocrisy. You know what I'm saying? You can call me Hippocrates out here. I will flip on some shit in a minute. But my thing is just admit your hypocrisy.
Yeah.
Everybody want a virtue signal, but you're a hypocrite. Just admit your hypocrisy. Where it's like when LeBron said that shit about China, because like LeBron said something when they was talking about China, and I want to say, was it Enes Kanter? It was in one of them ball players when they said like, oh, LeBron don't say nothing because basically China was giving Hong Kong the business because China don't want nobody had no freedom. And then he like, oh, well, LeBron speaks out about this, that, and the third, da 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 da. And LeBron was just like, basically, that shit ain't in my wheelhouse. Like, I'm dealing with the shit that affects me. And I accepted that as like, okay, that's your hypocrisy.
Legit,
because really what it come down to is it affects his bottom line because China infused a whole ass whack of money, especially with the Houston Rockets and the basketball. And he don't want to fuck up his bottom line. I understand that. Like, and he just 100, and he just admitted, oh, I'm dealing with the shit that affects me. Cool. The shit that kills me is the people who just want to virtue signal about this, that, and the third, and just blatantly ignore some stuff when they get called out.
So you think that the internet right now or social media is like deteriorating society as a whole?
100%. Because it goes back to what we was talking about them Dunlap numbers and everything else. And we just not supposed to know this many people. And people have such a fake sense of knowing someone and everything else. Like most of my friends growing up, we fought. And that's not to say that's the right way to do it, but we had an actual interaction. We like knew each other and this and that. And I feel like it's just so many false senses of reality that social media provides to people that it causes a deterioration, right? So just like we were saying before on the previous podcast, like if we grew up in the same hood, I competed with the guys in my hood and the guys in our school so that I can get your attention. I wasn't competing with old boy in Brazil who a billionaire.
Yeah.
I wasn't competing with what Jeff Bezos did with his girlfriend, some of that. I was competing with these dudes. So I had a good range because I'm the man around here. But when you step me outside here, no, I'm not the man. So it's like people have these ideas, and it's just the same reason why like women have gotten to the point where they think that like women got to the point where they done seen these dudes doing crazy shit, and they think that's supposed to be automatic. Like, oh, well, he spent a couple $1,000s on the that dude's a billionaire. I am a thousandaire. Like, you know, I'm not gonna do that. And then dudes, we look at it and we're visual creatures. So we look at it and we see these women that then got BBLs and everything else, and they got everything done, and they got airbrushed even since before like the internet was really big. Like Buffy the Body days. You see her and just see her like airbrushing this and that. She got a great natural body. Or she did. I haven't seen her. I don't know what she look like right now. But she got a great natural body. And what you do is we have these false sense, King magazine and everything else. We saw these women that's super thick and airbrush, and we like, this is what women look like. Then we come in the bedroom and look at our woman and be like, why you don't look like that? You know what I'm saying? Why you don't look like this? Because I'm working every day. Because I just had your child. Because I had this and that. So it just builds up these false ideas that we have. And it's comparison. And like we always say, comparison is the thief of all happiness. Because it's like, instead of me thinking about what's good about my situation, I'm comparing about how my situation can be better. If you look like this, if I look like that, if I had this, if you had that, if I made this, if you made that, like, and we comparing all of that and we comparing it with out of our payback. Like when people was talking about that entitlement shit, you don't make enough to be talking about entitlements. I mean, not entanglements. What I'm talking about, like, so when they talking about the entanglement shit, yeah. That's out your pay bracket to be talking about some, oh, I got caught in an entanglement. No, yo broke ass cheated. Like, you do not get to talk about that, and you you making $30,000 a year. Like, that's not in your wheelhouse. Just like when dudes get caught up in Kevin Samuels, they be like, oh, well, Kevin Samuels said this, that, and third. Some of that shit, I probably say 30-40% applies to like everybody, and I agree with a lot of the stuff he said. But a lot of that shit ain't in people's tax bracket to be worried about. Like, well, yeah, a woman should do this and that, da da da. No, dog, you drop fries. You drop fries.
Yeah.
Like, no, you don't get to cheat. You don't get to do all of this stuff. You don't get one of these understanding relationships.
Be damned.
Yeah, you don't get to tell a woman like you're going to do everything in my household. No, brother.
Well, yeah, what are you doing too? I think a lot of people get lost, especially men get lost, and they want this. But what are you doing as a leader of your household? I don't think that's
as far as a leader of household, yes, but I think women and men get caught up in that comparison of oh, what are you doing? Like, it's a whole bunch of women who want to be taken care of and they want to be pampered and do this and that. It's like, do you think you look good enough to be just hand and foot taken care of? Like, what do you present? Like, you can't come up a bad body, bad teeth, bad breath, bad attitude, badass kids and think like, yeah, I deserve a millionaire. Nah, baby. You better accept you are going to have to understand you're going to settle. And I think that's one of the piss poor things that people get told not to settle, not to settle. But everybody settles. Either you settle or you lonely, man or woman. You're going to settle, and you're going to be like, yo, this good enough. Or you're going to be lonely because you're never going to find
good,
what that perfect. Good enough.
Yeah.
It's like government work. Good enough for government work. Not just good, but good enough.
You know, they probably don't understand what you mean by like settling. That's it. Well, I don't want to settle. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do
Everybody
that.
settles because if you grab anybody who is happily married, us included, and you was to say, you can have all of this that you have right now, but this part of their body change, or they make this amount of money.
You
like
can change something about the person.
What I'm saying is, it's like if you can have me and everything about me, boom, everything that you love about me, but I also am a millionaire and I'm cut like an action figure. You're going to say, nah, I don't want that. That's too much trouble.
No. It would be too much trouble, though, because you already full of yourself now. So I imagine, yeah. That'll be too much.
Allow me to reintroduce myself.
See this foolishness? This is what I deal with, though. Y'all ain't ready to deal with this. Trust me.
You got to remind people, like, it look good. You say you want it.
Oh, my God.
So I be telling people when be up to, like, oh, some people in the emails, in the comments, Fox is so beautiful. It's like, wait till she start fussing at your ass at 2 o'clock in the morning because a beetle got in the house. And now you can't go to sleep. Can't nobody rest again until this beetle dies.
For real. What y'all got in the comments over there? See?
I'm already talking about that nigga. They having their own conversations out here. They done forgot about us. Hey, we doing a podcast, y'all. If y'all don't mind. Hey.
Yeah, man. Okay, you got somebody new that came in.
Yeah.
Daniel Sharp. Hey, Daniel, what's up?
Yeah, that's what I said. I gave him a shout. He done hopped off, but yeah, that's someone who had just texted me earlier. Yeah. Who we got next up here, baby? Is there life after death? Do I think there's life after death? Yeah, I am. I kind of lean more towards, even though it doesn't go with my religious background, I lean more towards, like, I think reincarnation is a real thing.
Yeah.
And even
my thing is, before you go into that, when you talk about scientists and religion, science and religion, and even you're talking about us being energy, and all of that's been proven. We have a significant amount energy, blah blah blah, right? So, if you know the laws surrounding energy, what do you think happens when your physical body die, knowing what you know about energy?
I think that the energy got to be transferred. It's just like any other energy, like.
Right. So where does it go then? So where does it go after you die?
So the argument can be made that it goes into life, and the argument can also be made like it goes back into the earth and everything else. You know what I'm saying? Like when you decompose, like for people who get buried, you decompose, you get ate by the earth, you give off nitrogen, you cause all, you know what I mean? You cause all these beautiful things to grow, and I think it's this circle of life. But I truly believe that, like one of the thoughts that I've tossed around is like, so say for instance, regardless of what you believe, you don't believe in Adam, Eve, or whatever, there was less people at a certain point. There ain't always been 7.8 billion people. I think anybody could agree with that, right? So you had less people, and I think they had, let's call soul the energy. You know what I mean? Instead of joules, instead of kilowatts, we talking soul is the energy. And I feel like they had more soul. Like they were more in touch with everything else. And I think that now that's got diluted and made into more, so we're just like not as per se connected or whatever. But I think that like you have to come back. And then when you see some people and you see them come back, like when I be looking at these pictures, every now and then you see one of these pictures where they show like somebody from like the 1700s or something, and then they show a picture of like Jay-Z or Wiz Khalifa or you know what I mean, or name random person or whatever, and it's like, damn, they're back. Like
what's different is what's unique is that the fact that they look damn near identical. You know?
Yeah, and so it's like
even if you do
why?
Come back, why you choose the same features, the same? Why do you choose those features to come back to the same exact thing? Not saying that all of them do, because you know, we see experiences with people where they come back totally different sexes, totally different.
Yeah, and I think maybe that's just some of the ways that
backgrounds, all of that.
That might just be some of the ways that the energy manifests itself, right? Mm-hmm. Like Like if you put a certain amount of heat to a certain amount to a metal, it's going to have the same reaction. So maybe that's the same thing with the energy. When you put it into this body, it's like you put this makeup of atoms with this many electrons, this many neutrons and protons and protons and this formation or whatever. Maybe a lot of times it winds up making a similar body, right? Like how you like similar like.
Or could it be we just left this time like, dang, I fucked it up this time. God, you know what? I'm giving you back the same way. Same way. Don't change nothing. I got it this time. That's it.
But I guess I wonder how much about that is like a looks thing that it even matter with looks, right? You know what I'm saying?
Well,
Versus,
because you know that person that we saw, and they were saying look like Jay-Z or whatever.
yeah.
Where's Jay-Z from?
As far as I'm in Brooklyn.
That's where that person was at.
Yeah.
So you see what you looking. You have this person that
Marcy
looks like
Projects.
you, who is somebody similar to your style of person, your style of profession prior to you blowing up.
I mean, maybe it
you
was
know
a
what I'm saying?
yeah, maybe it was a thing of like a lot of these things matter because of how things portray, right? Because the way you'll look and stuff like that might cause hey man, what's going on, brother? I think that a lot of people might, you know what I mean? Like maybe that'll have a lot to do with it, right? Like say for instance, especially a perfect example would be to give with a woman since men are such visual creatures. Like looking at a woman or something like that, like a lot of the ways that you got treated might be because you're a woman and then you made a lot of mistakes because you spent too much time worried about the way you was treated. So, you know what I mean? When you made that soul contract to run it back, you're like, let me look that beautiful again. And I know this is beautiful. This got this warranted, this response. So I could deal with those same trials and tribulations so that I can overcome them this time.
Yeah, possibly.
So, because like in a lot of, I want to say Hindu. I know it's Indian culture, but I want to say Hindu. And they believe that you come back and as you progress or whatever,
so every time you die, so let's say you come back an animal or something. Okay, now you pass the animal, now you can be a human. And now you can be this type of human. Okay,
yeah,
next time
but it depends on your
human.
karmic balance, right? So if you thought of like karma like credit. So like if your credit score 800, you come back like because they got a caste system. So you got like at the bottom you got the untouchables, and then you got like the royal class and stuff like that. So you'll move up class by class by class, and then you go have a fucked up life. Now you back to untouchables. You have a fucked up life again. Bump it down. Now you an animal again. You know what I'm saying? You fucked up as an animal, and then we can keep moving on down.
Ant, huh?
Yeah, to your ant or something like that. And now, yeah, you a gnat, and then you just got to run it back as a gnat till you don't get swatted on somebody's head. Get him out of here.
I really don't know if I so much believe that we will come back like as animals and things like that.
Yeah, I don't know how
I
much
think
I
we stay
subscribe in
human
that.
form if this is what
Because
we
they
do.
have some very human characteristics. But one of the things I do truly believe is I don't really think that animals have free will.
Yeah, we was talking about that today.
Yeah, when you was mad about Rocky. But
Yeah. So our dogs, apparently, we was trying to keep them from mating, and that wasn't successful.
apparently
I
I
messed it up.
was trying
I
to
messed
keep
it up and came out the room and they were stuck together.
So Rocky is
I messed it up. They only 9 and 8 months, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What month is it?
I
August.
messed that up.
So yeah, 9 to 8 months, or either 9 to 10 months. But so the girl's older. She went to her first heat. For those of you who breed dogs or anything like that, you know, usually you skip the first heat. At minimum, you skip the first heat, and you might go second heat. But usually, like third heat is like that's where you go, right? You're going for the third heat. So, our girl, and I'm not gonna say their names because they get crazy when I say names. So our girl, the little chocolate pit bull, she has been in heat. Our boy has just figured out, because he over there with the Jamaican legs in the dance hall.
Yeah.
He been going for it, so he done figured out how he want to do this. You know what I mean? So he done finally figured out the mount, and she letting him. She tooting it and booting it like,
Yeah, she was.
I drop. Hey, step bro, I'm stuck in the laundry. You know what I mean? Fucking. You know what I mean? So she So I've been telling them, I tell everybody in the house, they got to go out one at a time. We've been separating them, this and that. She's been wearing a diaper, you know what I mean, because she had discharge, and then her discharge, you know, was red, started coming brown. Now she don't have as much discharge, but keep a diaper on her anyway. She might have a couple drips, and she walk around with a diaper. 100% doesn't look tough at all. Nothing tough about it. Fox sends me a picture while I'm at work, and I look at it, and she like, She like, she can't officially dog because she out here looking weak as fuck with this diaper on. Like, and you know, she picked the diapers. All I did was go on Amazon and say, we might as well get cloth diapers if we're gonna spend this much money and wash the diapers. She picked the cutest little diapers, and but when she put it on, Coco out here barking.
Yeah, she didn't.
I didn't mean to say her
tough.
name, but she ain't look tough at all. She out here, I'm just like,
She just look too cute to be tough. Like,
Get your
it was
ass
just
out
like,
here,
nobody,
bro.
it's not believable.
It's
Like,
not
nobody
believable.
believes you. This
you know what I mean?
tough. Okay, you
Imagine
look
the
too
dude
cute.
walking up to you in the hood and he'll be like, yo, hey, yo, where you from, cuz? And he got on the diaper. Like,
Where's your binky, baby? Where's your binky?
You know what I mean? You want the gangbang? So I've been telling them, keep them apart. Go in the room, using the bathroom. My wife coming in, she talking to me, this and that. Come back out of there. My daughter come downstairs, number 1 out the Umbrella Academy. She come downstairs, she yell, come out, dog stuck together. My boy done tried to dismount it wrong, this and that. Now they ass to ass. Trying to pull each other one way or the other.
Yo, how do they get like that? That's crazy. And I wonder, has that ever happened to humans?
Yes, actually.
What?
Yes, actually, there was a story, and I don't remember the exact details of it, but it was a man and he was cheating on a woman, and the woman did something to somehow put glue in something, so they wound up stuck together, had to go to the hospital.
Okay, so that is a man. That's somebody altering that. Okay, I'm talking about naturally get stuck. How these dogs were stuck today.
Nah, I don't think, because I'm talking about anybody who gets stuck.
She had that super grip. That is crazy.
Nah,
How you do that? What you do?
Pause. How you get that? How you get that? You ain't going nowhere, grip. I told you what I told you. Hey, Keita out there. Yeah, hey fam, I miss you too. I know. You two miss me as well. Well,
Yes,
glad we ain't got to tell you.
We ain't got to tell you this.
And then
Let's
move on with the show. Okay, Keita. Thanks for permission, baby. I love you. We just talked about communist ass California. We was talking about it. But when you get into the life after death, I think there is a life after death. And, I think there is a life after death, and I just think it's one of them things where we like come back, because we come back, and I think that's where a lot of deja vu come from. When people speak about deja vu,
that's something that
I think it's like one of them things, you know, you kind of remembering this experience from another life, and it's like, and the thing I don't understand about when we, so like you was teaching me about like when we do these life contracts, right? Like we say, like every life that we live in, basically, the way Fox explained to me, all the bullshit that you're dealing with that you hate is your fault. You chose this shit. You chose this shit, right? So you chose to go through these trials and tribulations for whatever you need to learn, whatever you need to grow, whatever it is, right? So we chose this. We chose to go this route. We chose to go to this method to get things done, and we just deal with it. So it's really hard to. It's really hard sometimes we be sitting there going through shit, and when you remind me of that, and I'm like, I chose this shit.
Like what?
Why? Why?
For this right here.
For this right
there.
Why? So I could do that, but
yeah.
Humility be damned.
Hey, Jeff.
Jeff, what's up, brother? Yeah, so I mean it's rough. So she basically, you sign a soul contract. So you come down and you sign a soul contract and you come back, and we was looking at something on Gaia TV. Was it Gaia TV?
I think more than likely it was Gaia.
Yeah, we was looking at Gaia TV, and it was talking about how people like, you know, just come and like they saying like even another body, like for instance, like if I died in a car crash, they bring me back to life. I might just tag out and be like, I fucked this up enough, and somebody on standby is like, boom, let me get that. And then they say, and people and they say like when people had that near death experience and they come back and they're not the same.
Oftentimes, yes. So it is when you have those near death experiences, you comatose, things like that. It is definitely an exchange.
Yeah, sometimes you have an exchange. I don't think it's a definite that you will have an exchange, but I think you're saying it's possible. It's not always like.
Well, from what the documentaries were talking about, it's damn near a certain that's going to be a change for you.
Well,
that's an exchange. So especially you see those people and you don't know that. You wouldn't know that. You know, you wouldn't know that you're not that person that was.
I think everybody else would know. I don't think I've had like that major of a change.
Right. So you see some people who they say, well, yeah, this person was in a coma, or this person was out for how many days or whatever the case is. Okay, now they're back, and it's just different after this happened. Oh, he's just different, or she's just different. It's just something different, not quite right, or something has changed about that person. It's not, the
She don't twerk the
event
same.
happened. She don't
Her
twerk.
knees ain't as strong. Her check engine light come
Is
on
it
too
that
fast.
person? But no, it's not. It's not that person. That was.
But how
definitely a
crazy
swap
is that? What
contract.
happened when, like, I think about it like so. And Islam teaches about jinns, and there's the whole surah. There's a whole surah about jinns in the Quran where it talks about jinns, and jinns aren't like, how people think about spirits, and it's like, oh well, that's my grandma, or that's this and that. Jinns are just like, no, he was made a jinn. Now, if he can control your body, or he or she or it can control your body, it will control your body and push you out, and so forth and so on. But they're like walking. They're walking around and they don't have bodies or whatever.
So you remember what we was reading in, I think it was the Book of Jubilees.
Yeah.
We were reading, if I'm not mistaken, and it was talking about the creation of Adam and Eve. And how Adam, before he had breath in his body, he was just a body, and all these spirits was just around him.
Yeah, and like Lilith and all them was pulling on the left side of him, and he was like
attached to his side.
Attached to his side.
And then all these other spirits were around trying to get in
everybody
his body.
trying to get in.
And God was like, yo, hold up. Would you back up? Back up.
Hey, could you imagine God pulling up and being like, hey, pull up. Back.
Yeah, and so, the breath was blown or whatever. And then also when Eve was created, same thing. And that's how, anyway.
Yeah,
you guys can look at that on your own time. But not everybody believes in alternate books besides the King James Version of a vast religion.
The King
Bible.
LeBron James version. It's legit.
LeBron James.
King LeBron James version. I don't know. Anytime that I think about a religious book.
What's up, y'all, on the Facebook, on the YouTube, wherever y'all viewing us at.
Twitch.
What's up? Twitch, yeah. Hey,
Appreciate
y'all.
you. Yeah, so I think a lot of people, I don't know. I think that's always a touchy subject. People believe what they want to believe.
It is, because they're going to hold true to what. So one thing that I know is that feeling of what people would feel is fear. So you grew up knowing one thing. You grew up being taught this specific religion or whatever. But there's certain things even in your own religion that you just don't feel is right. Like, wait, what? That don't make sense. But okay, whatever. You're gonna accept it as law because
mustard seed faith.
Yes, because it was told to you by your grandparents, or by your mama, or by this what's been going on so far, or this is what the very vast majority.
You've been told by the elders and whoever your spiritual leaders was, or whatever.
This is how the very vast majority of people, what they believe. This is the tradition, right? But sometimes when you step into the truth of some things, you really can't deny it in a way, because you can try, but you always have that conflict. So it will feel like, and it has felt like, when I came into certain knowledge, that I was in fear of my soul.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, but what if I don't believe it? But is this right? Because what am I going to do? Oh my God, am I going to go to hell? It was just so many different emotions and things that I was feeling, because I was taught this thing.
Yeah.
And to come
and
find
this
out
was
that
my
this
rock.
thing is not the truth.
Yeah,
the only truth.
Man, you gonna tell me my foundation might not be as stable as I thought?
The rug pulled
You
from up under you.
told me that this concrete right here was the best concrete to lay my foundation. Then I come to find out it's
that ain't always it.
Yeah.
So the rug was pulled from up under me,
and that's why people feel
like
that. That's why
fearful.
people feel that that's why people feel uncomfortable when they come in that knowledge, and they choose to, like, I want to fight this because you about to tell me that everything I believe. No, people don't want to be wrong.
Yeah, and when you just said that about being uncomfortable, it's something that I always tell you. We need the truth. The truth is not meant to be comfortable.
Yeah, it ain't meant to be comfortable.
Because if it was, then what we need lies for?
Yeah, we wouldn't need lies. Lies is for comfort.
What we need lies for? So that's one thing I always say, and I remember, that feeling of, oh my God, that hanging in the balance of what I've been taught all these years of my life versus what is the actuality and possibility of this real thing.
I think one of the most beautiful things for me to happen with understanding is for me to understand that I do not care about being wrong about something that I thought before, because it's like, if I legit find out that I'm wrong about something, I feel as though, like, you saved me time. It's kind of like the same way I looked at things when it's like, like, for instance, when people are like, oh man, I got divorced at 30-something years old, 40-something years old. Now I got to start all over and do this and that. It's like, it's better than doing it at 50.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, when I got divorced from my ex-wife, it's like, We split up and everything. It's like, shit, I'm in my 30s. At least I ain't washed.
Yeah.
I could have been 60 trying to figure this out. You know what I'm saying? People, men and women who get cheated on. And it's like, well, I went through this and that, da. And it's like, 30, 40 years. It's like, at least you ain't washed. Like, it could, always could have been worse.
Yeah.
Like, absolutely always could have been worse, right? And that's just one of the things about being grateful. So what about finding that truth? Because it's like, would you rather live the comfortable lie? And that's kind of really where, like, even a movie like The Matrix is based in.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, are you better off in that comfortable lie?
Yeah.
Or do you want that uncomfortable truth?
They go down the rabbit hole.
Like, do you want to understand? And I think a lot of people hold on. A lot of times when they hold on to religion and hold on to certain beliefs, it's because it's the only thing that makes them understand why another person is better than them.
That's true.
Because, this was God's plan and this and that perspective. Hey, Manny, right there.
Right.
Perspective. And a lot of times it's perspective for people to say, like, hey, I'm feeling this way or I'm feeling that way. And it's like, well, he got this and he got that, or she got this and she got that. He looked like this. She got this. Her booty this big. You know what I mean? His pecs look like that. He got a six pack. All of that shit. It's easier for us to accept that somebody else put in more work, more sacrifice, and hit the genetic lottery than it is for us to. It's hard for us to accept that. It's easier for us to accept that, like, oh, it's God's plan. It's this, that, and the third, and that's why I'm where I'm at. It's not because of my shortcomings or anything else. It's because this person hit the lottery. That's why they're ahead. It's not because they worked harder to get where they at. You know what I mean? We don't want to accept that truth. Accept that truth and always challenge things. And it's just like when you learn anything. Like when I was a kid and I first became Muslim, I had all the answers. If you ask me anything, I'm about to tell you about divine, or if you came to me with Christianity, Judaism, anything else, blah, 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 I'm about to hit you with divine origin and this and that, and how Christianity didn't come from this, and blah, 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 and Islam was this and this and that, da, 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 and I had nothing but answers. And then the more I learned, it's like I had nothing but questions.
Yeah.
Same thing with you, with like Christianity, and then when you and when Ken it's like,
you to death, you know.
Yeah, you brew, and then it's like, but then eventually it's like, it's that nagging in the back of your mind. It's kind of like, and that don't sit right with me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know how I feel about that, or I don't know how this going.
My thing too has always been, and I think we said this before in a previous podcast. So I said before, like in a way early, like my podcast 4 or something.
Damn.
And it was like, you know, you worship this presence that is everywhere. So you can't put a God in the box.
Yeah.
You cannot put a God in the box. So why is it that we fight so hard to, oh, God is this and he is that and she or whatever it is that you believe
I think
your
that's
God
all.
to be.
That's our narcissistic tendencies to be right, because we want to be able. If I don't have more money than you, don't have this and that, I want to hold now. I want to hold something over you. It's a natural ability that I want to hold something over you. So it's like, well, I don't got more money than you because Fox is a millionaire, and I don't got more of this and that because Fox looks better than me and this and that. But you know what I can hold? This knowledge of truth of this and that, so that I can bring you down. And most of the time, that's from a selfish place.
People have been trying to put the pieces together when it comes to religion for centuries. So, and no one has the correct answer.
And those who do, I think just they're pulled out of the game.
They're pulled out, right?
Like where it's like when you get to that point where you got it all, like boom, holy shit.
Because that's what you
this
come
is
here
what
to
it
do.
all is.
If you really look at it,
But
that's
then,
what you come here to do.
Yeah, but then it's like, oh, Fox, you got it all figured out the game.
Right,
and I'm over here like,
boom, you
Fox, why don't you tell me this and that? You over there like, I wish I could tell you, but it don't even matter because you got to find it in your own truth.
Yeah, that's true. That's what you come here to do. You come here to ascend and to get this knowledge and to grow and learn these lessons and do what you got to do. Life is a school. And my thing is, there's a bit of truth in every single thing that's out there.
It's the truth in every lie.
Yeah,
it's the truth in
every single thing. So the hardest part is to get all the stories together.
Decipher. It just don't seem like it's enough time.
Yeah, that's what we were just talking about that yesterday. There's not enough time to figure out all this, all the variances, all the
to go down every road. You hit that first fork and it's left or right. You go left, find out it's wrong, go right. Then it's like you hit the next fork and it's 14 more ways. It's like, God, dog,
there's
man.
So many things. And I believe too, that's why some people get so discouraged and like, F it, I'm just go what mama told me and that's it. I'm good, I'm safe. Jesus.
Yeah, because it's comfortable.
Whoever you want to
like, I don't want to put that work in, right? I don't want to
I feel like you owe it to yourself, though. It's your soul.
But
it's
I mean,
your growth, so
but
you owe it to yourself to
you
got
to think about that. That's the same thing. Like you think about this, like the times we have been in the gym versus the times we haven't been in the gym. We owe it to ourselves to find that truth, and we owe ourselves to find our limits, to push, to see what we're capable of. Like every man and woman should find out what they're capable of. Find out what your limit. Push until you find your limit.
I only did 6, but that was it. But that
you
was my
need.
limit.
You really need to enunciate. You really need to dips. You really need to enunciate because on God, I heard dicks. Find out how many dicks you can do. I was like, oh, yeah. So I'm like, find out how many dicks you can do. It's like, ma'am, this is a Wendy's. Dips. Okay, dips. DIPS.
Find out how many dips you could do.
But I'm about to put like, boy, City Girl's up 20 right now. Boy, goddamn Hot Girl Fox over here. Find out how many dicks you can do. How many? And too much is never enough.
If you need to, but it ain't my path.
Yo, with a button. With a button, I ain't fucking with you. This one?
No.
Gun to your head time.
Gun to your head. I don't think this gun to your head was finished. Let's see what it said. All right. Gun to your head. Dying and come back. Would you rather die and come back to this life with all the memories of your previous life?
Yes.
Or would you die and go create elsewhere?
Well, being off of what we said with reincarnation, I'm rocking with come back with the previous memories so I could skip a lot of those mistakes. If I can come back with all those memories, I'm going to create those mistakes. Because ain't that what we doing anyway? It's like I'm just walking to something else blind and fuck it up again. You know what I'm saying? So let me run back with what I know I got, and then I can run this and find out, like, what I'm really supposed to do. Or at least get close. You know what I'm saying? To get a better perspective. But I don't think so much that I'm going to get I think the chances, like if I had to put 6 in one hand, half a dozen in the other, like we'll get Baker's dozen in one hand by saying, like, I think I'm going to get more out of take that life, do everything that I had to, like, run this life back. And it's like, I know every choice that matters, right? So it's like, I'm going to skip that. I'm going to skip this. I'm going to go find your ass a lot earlier than my 30s, and we're going to figure this shit out a lot earlier than this. It's like, I'm coming to Miami, and I'm in that motherfucker. I don't care what you got going on. Fuck him. Fuck them. You're cool. I'm out. Boom, boom. Let's go. Getting the goddamn, I'm not wasting no goddamn time. Let's go. Spiritual growth. We got a lot of shit to go. But I had to shut up. Get in the van. Like, I'm not trying to do this and that, da. Guess what? First kid, I'm about to get you pregnant tonight. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, we are going in. You're going to think, you would. I feel for you. You were the person that I feel for if I got the opportunity to run it back with the memories I got now, because I'm showing up.
You showing up for me.
I'm showing up, and I'm on your ass. Like, I'm talking about, hey, baby. You know, I got a boyfriend, this and that. No, you don't. He fell in the ditch.
How would you kill people?
Because I don't got time to be playing. I'm like the kid that teleported on Umbrella Academy. What was he, 4 or 5 or whatever his name was? The kid that teleported. Yeah, 5. I'm on here. I'm getting people up out of it. I don't got time for all that. Like, run this shit back. I got money ain't an issue. This and that. We got shit to figure out in life, and all of this bullshit that people don't put up. Social media, financial constraints, inflation, all of this other shit. None of that really matters. We have such bigger plans to do. Fuck all of this that's slowing us up. We need to get this shit done early. So the point we at right now in our 30s, in our late 30s, I want to be at that point, early 20s or earlier, like teenagers if I could find you earlier. Like, and I'm trying to get this shit done. Like, look, and you be looking at me like, he's so wise. And it's like, fuck all that. Let's go.
For me, I don't know. I thought about, being here again, but I feel like maybe I want to see something else. Maybe I want to see something else. I don't know what I would want to see.
I'll be there.
You gonna be
I'll be there.
I want to see something else. What life is like elsewhere. What are the obstacles that I would have to?
I think go
through again, or maybe not, or maybe I'll be a creator to help build that place or whatever it is. So
possibly.
No, I would want to see something else because I don't like this place.
I don't know. I think we can make it better. We can make it better.
We can, but I don't know. It doesn't look likely.
Fair enough. But I'm going to run this motherfucker back because you know what?
Like you said.
And guess what? My ability goes through the roof if I get some pregame. Now, hindsight 2020, I'm rocking with that. I'm running this back, and I'm gonna crush this lifetime. And we about to have a whole house full of kids together. Skip all the bullshit, this and that. No, we're gonna skip all the bullshit. We raising them together. We ain't making the same mistakes. You're gonna be like, I think I should do this and that. Nope, you did that. Never mind. That's not a good idea because I can't even tell you that because you're gonna be like,
tell me
what? I'm gonna be like,
crazy. Bye.
I'm gonna be like, no, this and that, da da da. I'm on your ass. Like I want to figure it out, and I probably fuck it all up. I mean, like I probably find something, fuck it up, this and that. But the way I'd invest in Apple and Amazon,
early.
your boy in the building.
So, y'all, you already know what time it is. Thank you for sitting with us in Uncle Legend's Corner. We appreciate all the support that you guys given us. Thank you for the messages you guys have sent in. Thank you for watching us. If you have anything you want to add to the podcast, you can always hit us up or hit us up on our text messages or at askunclelegend@gmail.com. Peace.
Peace.
Yeah, so y'all know what time it is already. We are, podcast has ended, and we will be hanging out a little bit with y'all after the show. See if y'all have something y'all want to say, what y'all want to do. Let's see. Those of y'all on Instagram, we killing the feed on Instagram. Instagram only give you like an hour or something anyway. Do whatever you're doing, and it's right at the hour mark, so what y'all got going on in the chat today? What's up? I think some of y'all chimed in. Y'all already know what time it is. It's going to be a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If y'all ain't got nothing to say, what y'all looking as. We're going to end this podcast and see you guys on Wednesday, circa 8:30.
I don't know.
Yep.
I guess y'all good then, huh?
Peace.
Peace.